Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. We're using my over 25 years, is it close to 25 years? It's like 20, yeah, it is. Embarrassing coaching experience all over the world, and lots of other things in football. Now, we are going to talk about this Ipswich goalkeeper here being an utter disgrace, because he's allowed to stand his ground. He doesn't have to move, okay? Technically, is he offside? Yeah, probably at this point, yeah, because we're in relation to where the ball is. But this isn't a foul. That's a goalkeeper going to ground way too early because bad goalkeeper. And that sums up Ipswich's season. They have a chance to win the ball, have a chance to win the game, and just collapse on the floor. That is just not good enough at any level. This was a bit weird in the game. Right here in the middle, have a little look at this scrap going on. Now, this is why people don't trust any of the lamestream media or any of those people. This should be zoomed in and we should be able to see what's going on. They don't do that. They keep this high angle and they have this little bit of a tussle and throw each other to the ground, both sort of fighting with each other. The ref's clearly going the other way, but we want to see it. We want to see whether or not anything was a punch thrown. Did he have him in a headlock? We actually want to see that sort of stuff. Just because we don't believe the media anymore. They'll just go, oh, nothing happened. Yeah, of course it didn't. We don't know. And we don't trust you anymore when you're doing a VAR replay and you're 1,000 miles away showing us a wide lens instead of zooming in like you do on everything else so we can actually see what this little rugby tackle was all about. Awful. Let's move it on. Okay, you're on a yellow card. You've got done because your positional play is awful. I might show you a little bit of that in a second, but you don't wrap your arm around him. You don't try to pull him to the ground because you know if you do, you're off. Look, and he's holding him and pulling him back. You know you're going off. I can see Ipswich having a couple more red cards before the season goes out and them probably winning a game. Right, that's my prediction. Was it 4 games left for them to go? They'll probably win one and get at least one more player sent off in that time. But positionally, let's break down why he's bad at the football when he's gone to foul in the first place. Right, the ball's in there. He isn't dangerous. What's more dangerous is if you get close to him, you open up the space here. You can't really get too close to him because you're already out of phase with the play. As soon as that ball's gone, look, he's gone. You can't really be going ham at the ball. You just kind of want to run this way, okay, and try to get the position on him before you can engage on the ball. If you go close to him, that happens, and you're done. With a bit of skill. All you had to do was hold your space and not overcommit because the ball's still bouncing. You'd still have to control it. And instead of it on the bounce and flicking it past you, you'd have to bring it down. And that's your moment then to get close and engage. It's simple football. Instead, he's opened up a massive gap because he's overcommitted and he just goes past him and he brings him down. I mean, not only that, I would still want my centre-back to come over a little bit more to tell him to yell at this guy, no, I got him, and he can come round and cover for you. But he doesn't do that either. Yeah, that's probably why they're getting relegated. Speaking of going down too softly, is there a penalty? Yeah, kind of, but it is again. It's so soft. Ipswich just giving that away. You're down to 10 men. You're away at St James's Park. Just keep it tight again. Just keep doing what you're doing and try to get to half time. No silly fouls, no silly pulling, because you just had a mate that did that and got sent off. The fact that you continue to do it means you didn't learn from your friend's mistake over there and you cost your team a penalty. You can see there he is on the arm, pulling him back, giving away the penalty. Isak scores a penalty. Shocker. Yeah, everyone would have known that was going to happen. Question is, will he be there next season? I have a feeling someone's going to come in with a big money move because, in truth, there's not that many good strikers in the world anymore. There's not that many good footballers anymore. There's a good striker. I can see someone trying to snap him up, especially with the financial regulations and stuff that comes in nowadays. It's awful the way that they're trying to put the rules on the rich clubs so they can't spend money to catch back up for like all of their poorly run history, and it's a mess. It really is a mess. There should be another way of doing it, but they're not going to do it because otherwise the clubs at the top wouldn't be able to stay there. If any of you have seen my third man running warm-up drills, you'll see this is exactly the same passing pattern. One gives it to 2, runs into the space. In that drill, we have them overlapping over here, but it's not a concern because it's just about the movement of the ball and are the players moving? Are they moving into space? Well, there he goes. He runs into space. When 2 gets the ball, he plays it into 3, and then he runs into space and delivers. Simple passing pattern. If you go back and look at the warm-up, I explain how you build this pattern of play from a straight line to moving and then moving without cones, so you can just play it anywhere down the field. And that's all this is. It is interesting though. Look how far away he is from. He knows the ball's going here. As his mate's gone to pressure, he can immediately shut that pass down because he can't play it in behind to him because he's offside. So what do you do? Just go over 3 yards. That's all I'm asking. 3 yards of effort. Ball goes in. Boom. No, he still stands. I mean, you're not marking him. Why are you stood there? This is where you need to be. You're stood miles away from him. Get closer. Not touch tight like your idiot mate did that just got sent off, but try to get closer. That isn't good enough. Lo and behold, yet again, someone pointing in the Premier League that's defending, we know in the next 5 seconds, a goal is about to be scored. What a shock. Happens every week. So here we go. The other point is, I think there's 3 Newcastle players on the back post. Look. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, all lining up. Now, Kieran Trippier is a bit awful. All right, he's 115 million years old in football years, but what he can do is deliver a ball. You don't want to let him have time and space like this to deliver a ball. Imagine if you had walked 3 yards over here like I asked you to, you wouldn't have this guy that was here pressuring, running to here because you were closer. You would have dealt with the situation, but of course you just stood there and you've absolutely done nothing in this whole little phase of play. Ball gets delivered, Bosch into the back post, and because of course they weren't paying any attention to the players in the box, you can see it's 2 Newcastles, one being Dan Burns, ends up being on the back post. Keeper's caught completely underneath it. I don't even know what the keeper's doing. He needs to be at least 5 yards back, but he's not. And the reason why is because the keeper can always come forward. It's much easier for a goalkeeper to come forward and save than to go backwards and save. Running backwards and jumping is harder than running forwards and jumping. Try it. It's good fun. Little tap in on the back post to get themselves a second goal. And I'm sorry, Kieran Trippier, you lose more credit. I think it's you, loses more credibility asking for this as a handball. Look, his hand is right by his side. If he hit his other hand that's out here, yeah, maybe, but look, it's right by his side and it moves his arm. And you can see he does that flailing movement back for the main reason. He tries to get his arm out of the way as the ball hits his hand and he just can't do it. But yeah, stop asking for penalties that are not. Makes us not believe you anymore. Another decent delivery from Kieran Trippier, just whipping the ball in. Honestly, they could probably done this all day against Ipswich if they just delivered the ball a bit better and headed it in on the back post. This score could have been really, really out of hand. But ball drops in. More Newcastle players in Ipswich again. Look, he's looking for a foul. Stop looking for fouls and free kicking. Just play football. This is why people are just so sick and tired of this season. It's getting worse and worse in football. Just play the game. Just play the game. Keeper's beaten. Decent header. And Ipswich are going down. Well, we knew that anyway, didn't we? Newcastle fighting for that Champions League spot. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.